We got OG Cello in here. Cello from the ghetto.
What's that?
In the building. I want to start off by telling you thank you for coming. We always have a lot of conversations chopping. I know.
Stop it.
But I got to though. I gotta give you flowers. And you know, I told you, like you say, to me, you one of the most slept on for wise lyrical dudes, spitters in the city. I want to say this too before we start. I always know people always say Mac, and I fuck with Mac or whatever and shit. I love Soulja Slim. I know you have to agree with him and shit. Mystical and a lot, you know, Weezy, a lot of people, you know, but people don't really never throw you in there.
I think all of us do it different ways. Like, so it's like you can't really compare, like, because my inspiration don't come from Southern rappers.
Right.
My inspiration comes from the East Coast.
Right.
So I come up off like Cool G rap.
Okay, I'm glad you went into
that.
So
I'm different when it come. That's why I can't. I used to. I ain't even say it was a time when I was young where I used to freestyle, but I write because I gotta see it.
Right.
Like it's for me, it's like a sermon. Like I have to see it. Without me seeing it, it don't make sense. I can't just blur it out. Now, kudos to the people who can, but I can't do that and make it make sense. Like I really have to write it.
So before we get into it, I want to ask you this, whatever, start from the beginning or whatever. People that don't know whatever, but I know whatever, you grew up in the Magnolia. So how was it growing up, you know, how many brothers and sisters you have and growing up uptown, you know, in the Magnolia, just uptown, how was it growing up for you in New Orleans?
Well, I have two sisters.
Okay.
Right, from my mom. My pops had a lot of kids. So I had family everywhere, like, my daddy from the 9th wall, mom from the 12th wall. I ended up in the 3rd wall. But, I mean, it was like growing up everywhere else, you know what I'm saying? And our times though, like, I think things was so much different because, like your neighborhood was more or less like your family.
And you talking about growing up in in the 80s or the 70s?
I'm talking about growing up in like the 80s.
Okay.
You know, the 80s? The 90s they had got a little wild, but I like when you was in your neighborhood, like the family. That's it, and that's the thing that I miss about the hood, like that.
The village. Right.
Definitely. Right. Most definitely, it was the village.
And the schools and all that, how it was, what schools you went to?
I never went to school, like, I never, like, a lot of people went to Worcester and all that. I went to school in Carrollton. That's why I know so many people. See, first I went to Samuel G. No, first I went to Wright. They put me out there. I went to Green, and after I left Green, I went to Fauché.
Tarpons.
Yeah.
I know Babe. So you was there, Babe was there too? Who was there like that was known, like rappers that y'all was coming to?
Who was there?
And you probably remember when you was there.
Les Slim.
Okay. Talking about
Skip.
Okay.
Me and Skip even ran to school.
Right.
Me and Skip was, I always say this about Skip. Skip was one of the first dudes who I could say, like, who
you
put
talking
us
about Skip from the group with you and I know your
yeah.
class so people can know you.
Let me tell you what Skip did, right? And I always tell this story, but I don't think I ever said it on camera. But Skip sat next to our snack machine and sold us the stuff cheaper. I'm telling you facts. Anybody went there. He sat next to the snack machine, lined this stuff up, and sold it cheaper than it was in the machine. Ask anybody. It's facts. Ask him yourself.
So he been hustling. He been
a hustler.
How to get to the money.
That's why as soon as he come out with that chicken and watermelon, I said they in trouble.
Right.
Cause I've been sort of hustling. Like,
right.
And we used to shoot a lot of dice and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, cause y'all had a good football team, like you said, a lot of great.
I was there for the like a lot of. Say, get what? You know what? I was supposed to play on that team. I hurt my knee. Talking about 14-0 or something. I was 14-0 team or something.
Right.
Think we lost to Haddon, but what them dudes is out there with the H. Huntsville or something.
Huntsville,
bad motherfucker.
Probably Hanville or something like
that. Probably Hanville or something. Yeah,
somebody
beat it.
One of them schools messed y'all record that year.
They kept giving every. Boy, look, don't.
And what year that was?
I couldn't tell you. You gotta go look.
But it was in the 90s. You
it's
said.
that year because I remember we kept talking about it because my brother-in-law Everett, they kept running the same play, giving the ball to him, and we laughed our ass off about it. Like me, him, Noonie, Charles. Like I know a lot of people because of school.
Right.
Like, and I always been into sports and stuff. Even if I wasn't playing, I was going.
Right. And what position you liked it if you was gonna play?
I was gonna play cornerback.
That's how I played too.
Defense.
Cornerback. Yeah, I love Deion
Sanders. I don't
want
catch no ball.
Now getting to the rap, whatever you say, Cool G rap. Like, so what made some of your favorite rappers besides Cool G rap? Who was like a lot of people that influenced you from the East Coast? Because you said the East Coast had a big influence.
I mean, like
at the time.
Influences would be Cool G rap. It's a lot of people I like. Don't get it twisted, but it's not like influences because they coming up as if they started rapping while I was rapping.
Right.
you couldn't really influence me on music, but you could probably influence me somewhere else. Like Jay, I fuck with Jay as a business.
Right. Inspire you to probably.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll get me to go further, but I'm already in it. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Coogee rap, like when I first heard the symphony, I was like, oh yeah, that's what we doing? All right.
Man, it was
but they used to have this, I think the box.
Box, I remember that. I used to play for the video.
And a long time ago, well, they used to have this radio station, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know I had to be in like middle school or something, but it used to be this little radio station. You know what it was? It played the underground stuff from New York. This had to be early 90s. Okay. But this station played you the underground live.
Right.
That's how I knew about the underground.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's I'm a figure it out, but it's a station that played you live from the underground. I had to be like 10 or something.
So, Cello, when y'all probably felt, because I remember Tucker was talking about the drag rap song by the Showboys that came out of Hollis, Queens, and they put that song out in, I think, 86 on Profile Records. Like, when you remember when that song first hit and all that in the clubs and they were just running the beat, even before people was like making songs to it, like Everlasting Hitman and Tucker and all them and
like,
Jimmy.
Listen,
how it was when y'all heard that song?
This was what made people start doing Trigger Man beat, right? Like if the club would get down or something, I ain't gonna even say the club, I'm gonna say like, we used to have sock hops. Know what that is?
What is that now?
Sock hop is like what you have in middle school. And it's a party.
Okay. Like a little dance?
It's
like
a dance, yeah. But when in middle school, we called it a sock hop.
Okay.
Okay, so when the crowd used to get down, they run Trigger Man and just keep jiggy, jiggy, jiggy. And I don't know who the first person was, but somebody caught on to that and said, man, I'm about to rap on this. But they just used to play the beat. Like I remember times where they just used to play the beat.
Right. And it just to keep everybody going.
It kept everything going.
That what I remember. I think KLC said that on that Manny Fresh. They was talking about it on that documentary. I think it was called The Evolution of Hip Hop on Netflix. And it was like, long as you got that beat playing and you don't fuck up, you good because that beat gives you an extra edge.
I saw that beat before anybody. I heard that beat rocking before. I could honestly say this. I heard the beat before I heard the song with nobody on it. And then I went back and saw it with Showboy.
Right. Wow. Damn, that's crazy. So, like you said, how do you, like you said, you know, how you feel about the beat and I guess just the sound? Because I guess in New Orleans, like you said, it is different variations. Like you said, you might have a person like UNLV rapping off bounce. You might have Everlasting Hitman. You might have Jubilee. You might have No Be Free. All of them is different variations and all that. And like I said, you probably didn't rap off to it.
Listen, well, let me tell you something, okay? I think I still have this picture. Like, remember that night that KL talking about when Slim first rapped?
Right.
We went to a club after that. I was there.
At the Black Part of the Project. All right, yeah.
Okay. After that, we went to a club on Dry Street called Newton's.
I heard about Newton's.
We wasn't even supposed to get in there. This where UNLV first started at. Me and Slim rapped. We had to rap over Trigger Man.
Right.
Anytime you rapped in a club, you was rapping over Trigger Man.
Right.
Then they start bringing in Run DMC, Peter Piper, Pick Peppers.
Okay, all right.
We rapped off that a little bit. But that was the only thing you was really rapping on.
It was either that.
So it wasn't no such thing as not in our time, that's what you was rapping on.
Right.
Especially if you was in the club, because that's what the DJ was mixing. So all he was doing was, and after a while later, it came, what that beat is that woke one morning, boom,
yeah,
boom.
Tears in my eyes.
But the instrumental, is what we was rapping on. Thinking about you, come, after, we was bumping off that instrumental.
Wow.
Like that's the only things, I don't know if that was the only thing, I guess you could say that's the only instrumental that like DJs was playing, but you knew when you was getting up there what you was rapping off, which gave us an advantage.
And I'm glad you said that too, because a lot of people always saying, oh man, how New Orleans people gonna tell people about rapping off a Trigger Man beat and that come from somewhere else. I'm like, but everything in hip hop come from an old school record that they didn't do nothing but sample and rap off. So all we did is take that record and the brown beat and put it together and make it our own little gumbo. This is just the ingredients we use. And like you said, Newton's and what, Detour and all them clubs like that, they said that was
what this damn
with the Rebel Boy Hallelujah? That was after?
No, they had Streamline.
I heard about that.
They had what's that club in Hollywood, man? Ghost Town.
Yeah, that's what they said they did it at with
but then we gonna take it back. You got Detour, 49, like I was everywhere.
Right, you was right there in it when it was all coming together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, tell me too about that song, cause one of my favorite songs, I love that, and I still watch to this day, that Where You At, Woody, I'm Over Here, I'm in the 5, that 0 to the 4. Like, how did that whole record come about and all that? Like, and who produced that record?
I don't know who produced it. I don't want to lie to you.
Cause that beat was hard.
I don't really know.
But I mean, how y'all came up with it? What was the idea behind it and stuff like that?
The hook P was playing with it. and I came in there and added a little something to it, took a little something out.
Yeah, that shit was.
And he was like, "All right, now get on the record." But like when I came in there, he was already vibing to that beat.
Right.
And he was just on some 504.
Right.
But Woody was something we were saying like that.
Right. That's what I say. A lot of people say Wolf for short, but that's just a version of Woody just cut short, because we cut everything short anyway.
If it wasn't for that record, I'd have been start rapping.
Man, that shit was hard, and that beat was hard, you know?
I mean, I'm not from the aspect of seeing money off music.
Right.
If it wasn't for that record, like when times got bad, I got a check.
Right. Yeah, when y'all did that, like I said, I like that Ham Bro record too. Like you said, with you, Wango.
You Wango and Dodo?
Dodo, yeah, I like that. So when y'all had that deal with when Dodo had that deal with No Limit, it was kind of like, because I seen both of the logos on the back of the record.
Wasn't really a deal, No Limit. Like, let me show you something. Like, let me show you business too. What I learned. P had so much stroke with Priority. He told him to give us a deal. He put his stamp on the record and he took care of the production. But I never was signed to No Limit.
Right.
I was never No Limit artist.
You was with Tough Guy.
Yeah.
Right.
But they put the stamp on because he is who got me the deal.
Right. Right.
Which it ended up working out for both of us because I sold more probably because of it.
Right.
And it also helped me just get recognized as an artist. Because people, like, I sold more records in like New York, Chicago and all that, and that kind of surprised them because a lot of, like, before that, like, the only people that was selling out there was like Slim. Like, them people was on music. They didn't. And I guess the sound,
sonically,
sonically, like P hadn't developed the sound. And if you listen to my album was not their sound.
Right.
Cause I didn't come there on that, like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing against their sound, but I didn't come there on that. I just came there on give me some hot beats, and this is what we're gonna do.
And I was saying, like you said, cause Dodo from the Cali and you from the Magnolia, and then y'all was like you said. That was good even back then. People like, man, they working together and they collaborated, and y'all was doing it for the.
That wasn't good.
It wasn't good? At that time, so people didn't really like that.
A lot of motherfuckers ain't gonna say it, but a lot of niggas hated me.
For doing that, because they felt like he was going against the home team.
Say, bro, listen, like, it was a time when us in the Cali used to be so tight, right? We used to switch calls and all this kind of shit.
Right.
This people don't know, right?
Wow.
Like, I'm talking about in the time when, like, Gangsta and T-Dub used to hang together. That's Randall brother.
Right. Randall Watts.
But all that, everybody used to be together.
Right.
Then some shit popped off.
Right.
And I was in the mix of, after that had popped off and the Magnolia was so, and the Calio felt like the Magnolia killed Randall.
Right.
That was something big though. That's big. That was some big shit back in the day.
Right. Wow.
And then like when it came to the music, I had a godfather named Victor. Him and Dodo already had a relationship. They decided to do music, and my godfather was like, "All right, he got to do. He gonna be the one who we gonna put out."
And Dodo was for it. Like, if you said we gonna.
Dodo wasn't on that.
Right.
Like, he was older then, so it was more or less like the younger dude. But Dodo wasn't on that. He was on some money shit. Like, niggas was just coming home from jail.
Right.
And on top of that, I think what made it even different, like Doe like it was a time where P went back there and did a lot for the Calio.
Right.
Doe wasn't there.
Right.
He was in jail.
Right.
So this was him coming fresh on. But I can tell you what was smart about it. He ain't called P until he had something. But like at any time, when Doe came home, he could have called P and got him 20-30 because he had did that for a few people back there that he came up with. But Doe knew he was gonna get in once he came home. Just when he sent the money, Doe wasn't there. But instead of him saying, "Let me go ahead and grab the cash," we went to him with the project.
Right. It was already ready.
It wasn't even my project though. It was a compilation album.
Did you talk about the living Brick Living?
No. Before I did Brick Living, we had a compilation for Tough Guys. That's the first thing Master P heard. Master P just decided who he wanted to do a solo album on. We didn't want to do a solo album. We wanted to do a compilation.
Right. To brand the whole label and stuff like that.
Right. Like, those was smart when it came to that.
Right.
Because if P would have branded the whole label, we was gonna do everything else independent. Like we had this shit rigged up because, we learned the game from where Spitter learned the game from. Big Hump, this dude named Hump and Lil'Flip.
Oh, you talking about yeah. Well, Sucker Free, I fuck with them. You talking about Dog Hump, yeah.
Man, listen, bro.
Yeah. I already got that deal with Sony and shit.
Listen,
20 mil.
Hump been knew the game, and that dude used to give it to us.
Yeah, Hump.
Like he been knew the game. Like I was on tour with them.
And this Houston, for people that don't know, this Houston dude.
Big Hump and Lil'Flip, man. Yeah. That's how Flip had so much money.
Right.
Like Hump was different. Like
they put that Leprechaun album out and all that when it first started.
I just know as in business wise, man, them dudes used to look different pulling up in Lafayette. Like we in Rovers and all that, man. Them dudes on 2 tour buses.
I could do that. I remember Juvenile and Flip did that. That shit was hard.
But they kind of showed us independence.
Right.
Like they showed us that you, like what we learned is all you gotta do is run your region.
Right.
Rich.
Right.
All them dudes, they were just going around and around and around and around.
And the South so big.
That's
like
what they did.
38% of the people that live in America live in the South.
They caught fire everywhere else. Right. But they didn't, by the time Lil'Flip them got it, them dudes was rich.
Right.
I'm telling you this.
Right. Yeah.
Like they was already rich.
And then like I said,
but they taught us the independent game.
Right, and then Flip built up a lot of his buzz too with DJ Screw and the Screwed Up Click and all that, so people was already familiar with him. And then
I didn't know him though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
Like I think Dodo met them or something. Whoa, and we got on the tour with them. Them dudes took me all around. Them dudes took me all everywhere though. They helped me build my fan base, like Lafayette, Shreveport, New Iberia, like Tyler, Texas.
So all
like
through the South, like chilling circuit.
That's all they used to do.
The chilling circuit.
Man,
that's the same thing Coach K said with the Migos and Gucci
listen, bro. Man, I know them dudes at that time, bro. They had that they was between them two they had $1 million. Easy. And I'm talking 99, 2000.
Damn.
I'm talking about them dudes had real money. And they, like, we just developed relationships with them and with Hump, actually. And that's why Spitter fuck with Flip so much, though.
Right.
To fuck with him, like,
wow.
Because he saw the business side of it from him.
What's your thoughts about, like I said, I know you was around the Hot Boys, too, the original Hot Boys, and I know people always hear, you know. So I know what is like they say Mosquito, Sterling, Dooney, Gangsta. Is it
Diesel?
Hot?
Yeah,
Hot,
and
Stone
hot.
too and all that?
Yes.
So it was mainly limited. It was other people too, like a lot of dudes, but that was just the most known.
It was just more or less that little crew of them. But they had, you know, people around them also.
Right.
But that Hot Boy shit was something different.
Right.
Like them niggas had money though. Like niggas look at it the wrong way. Like them dudes had money. Like, and that's what that shit was on. That shit was on them niggas having the freshest cars and all that kind of shit. Like niggas take it the wrong way because you always look at the bad side of our people. But niggas, the dudes had real money. Get money.
And I'm glad you said that too, because when Nora was interviewing Silk on the Drink Champs, he was asking Silk about that.
Let me tell you this. Okay, let me tell you this. I'm glad you brought that up, right? See, this is the thing about me. I'm in between both sides of it because Hot Boy Jimmy was my dog.
P cousin, right.
It's my dog.
Right.
Him and Dodo was like best friends.
Okay.
It was Hot Boy Jimmy and man, why I can't think of this dude.
And they really been calling Jimmy's Hot Boy. So like,
yeah, he always called him Hot, but that was just him as a person.
Right, just that individual.
He was Hot Boy Jimmy.
Okay.
Bruce was another one. Bruce, Jimmy, and Dodo was tight.
And where Bruce was from?
Callio.
Oh,
you probably heard.
Callio.
Bruce is kin to Ace. I think that's Ace. That's why, like, it's certain people who I see it. Jimmy is Lil Jimmy's son. You know Lil Jimmy?
Yeah, the dark one. Yeah,
that's his son.
Right.
The young one. Bruce is, Ace is Bruce's nephew. That was his muscle.
Right.
So he got a different kind of connection to the people. But I ain't gonna say that was just his muscle, but them dudes come up.
Right.
Dodo come up with them. What linked me all the way back to it was a dude who I looked up to out the project, KC.
Magnolia?
Out the Magnolia.
Talking about Baby, talking about KC out here.
Okay. KC and Dodo was best friends. So, and KC fuck with Jimmy, Bruce.
Different projects,
for me, once I started seeing this, KC showed me it was cool.
Right.
Because that's who I looked up to, like, you know what I'm saying? But Jimmy was Hot Boy Jimmy. Ben, Hot Boy Jimmy. But these were the Hot Boys.
Right.
Hot Boys wasn't mentioned over there.
Right.
Until you heard Hot Boys. But these Hot Boys was in the streets. That didn't start with no rap. Them boys called themselves the Hot Boys. They was in the streets.
Right.
So it was different. All them niggas had what? Jalapeno peppers or something on their arm.
I heard it, jalapeno, yeah.
But that was the Hot Boys. That was hood shit.
Right.
What happened, I think, was it was so hot in the city, P&M was bigger, so they got to introduce it faster. By the time when Baby them thought about it as, let's make a group called the Hot Boys. I think it worked out for both of them, you know what I'm saying? But,
right. But I'm glad, like I said, Silk did put it in the context. He said, you know, they was doing it. He was
Silk
like,
kept it funky. I saw it.
Yeah.
He kept it funky.
Yeah,
he kept it real.
I like how he did that part and stuff like that, about that. And your relationship, like I said, with Soulja, Slim and stuff like that, because I always feel like, man, you know, Slim wouldn't have got, you know, killed and stuff like that, I just felt like I always wondered like how it had been, because he was just going so hard around that time with the I'll Pay For It, the Cutthroat stuff, and even
you know what crazy?
the slow motion record. Huh?
Slim used to cut out here.
Yeah, he used to cut him on Tower Lane, my brother said, because he used to be on Tower Lane and stuff like that.
We used to cut out here on Tyler Dino.
Okay.
But like, I mean, the full music I knew Slim. So it's different. Like I knew him coming up in the project, we bumped into each other in jail. Me, him, P-Town, Mo. It was a lot of people, like a lot of the rappers who we used to bump, not little rappers because they're our age and shit like that. Louis the 14, it was a lot of us who used to always bump into each other in jail.
Right.
And it was entertainment. Hitman out the St. Thomas, Tucker, but we always, Lil Derek.
PG Derek,
yeah, like we were bumping to each other in jail and we're jokes.
Right. Damn, that's how it always was. Tell me about, like you said, your relationship with Currency. I know you said that's your brother too?
That's I call him my younger brother, but like, as in, we've been together, I can say before music. And it's just like, in the beginning, like, who he was fucking with, I forget the dude's name, is one of my partners who record company was fucking with though. And they was into all kind of shit. And I was like, y'all gotta get that little dude from around that shit, man. Cause he had no idea what the fuck he was around, right? I'm like, man, y'all gotta get that little dude from around that shit. And they end up going to jail, and I just kept him close to me.
And that's kind of how it all formed. So what about I know you talked about the Bape Ape before, and I know he was saying he kind of introduced Wayne to the Bape Ape, because I know you're talking about Pharrell and the clips and
what's
Soulja
the video
Boy.
when you first saw Wayne with Bape Ape?
Probably Hustler Music or something around that time.
All right, guess what? That jacket was a spitter. He had just got it. Like, listen, Will, what's crazy is this, right? I used to be I ride through the Calio, ride through the Magnolia. So one time I'm riding through the Calio, they got this chick on a porch with tennis all over the porch. They're all different colors and all this shit. Double back. I couldn't tell you the year Spitter good over years. I look at him. I said, uh-oh. Cause Spitter always been into fashion, so he makes sure you stay on it.
Yeah, Eastside Fly, Currency be on that fly shit. Eastside.
I always like the polo and shit like that, but not to the level of the way that dude did. Yeah. He did it different.
He turned winners up to me really with that whole swag and fly.
I think if you round him, you're gonna turn your swag.
Right.
Like it's not him like having turning you up.
Right,
it's like if you round him, you're
that
gonna
drip
get
just
right.
gonna fall on you.
You might won't get right.
Yeah.
You might won't get right. But I saw these shoes. I don't know if I bought a pair. I think I bought a pair because I did buy a pair. Because we used to see the little Chinese dude with them on. We never knew who he was though, right?
Right.
I didn't at least. I pull up, I spit, I show him to him. He said, let's go back and buy them all.
Just like that.
That's what we went back and did. And every time she ordered them, she ordered outside. That's how we had so many colors. Man, listen. Bruh, like that's why when people talk that Bape Ape shit, bruh, listen. It had the, like I remember the Fam Gang?
Yeah, that was
put them the dudes on. I still got pictures. Them the dudes was rocking that shit.
Yeah.
I had the Fam Gang in what? 2000.
Twins was track stars too.
I'm just showing you, like at the end, like we really was rock, but that was coming from where we had, me and Spitter was doing that shit 2-3 years before that.
Right, in the early 2000s.
Easily the early 2000s.
Right.
Easily, well, because we had the studio and all that. But when I'm telling you, like when me and Vo was on the road, everywhere I seen them, I bought them because I knew, like as in fashion, sometimes I buy them just because I know he'd take them. But I want to have them. One of us had to have them.
Right.
But I wasn't that far into them. Once I seen how he was on them, like everywhere we went, I'm like, apes, I'm buying them.
Right.
And then I'd say I even think Vo was with us too around that time too though. Vo was with us around that time, definitely when we started buying, fooling with the Bape Ape. But like when it came to fashion, like he just was different when it came to fashion.
Right. What's your that's what I'm saying, that's why I feel like Bape Ape gave him that deal too. They gave him the deal.
They had to come back
and stuff like that.
They saw it.
Right.
Listen, well, you ever saw this? There's a video. I'm gonna show you something, right? They I forgot the name of this DVD. Smack, where he's stomping through his closet with all them clothes in there. That's the house we used to stay in.
Right.
We used to buy clothes and people used to give him shit. We used to throw it in the closet. It used to be brand new shit.
Wow.
It's an old DVD you see him walking through the closet. Say, bro, this dude left a path in this apartment, right? Mm-hmm. We used to call it H-Town in Harahan. We had this apartment in Harahan. That's the apartment. The shit where him and Wiz shot the thing in front of the fire, that's why that apartment is like that. Right. That's where all them dudes came at.
Right.
I hustled out that bitch and everything. Roddy, all them. That's why me and Roddy so connected, because we was connected on other levels.
Right.
So, in that apartment, we used to, this boy left. When he moved out there, he just didn't care.
Right.
They made a mistake and sold him the purple and gold bathing apes. Lakers. Both of the shoes was different colors. It was both of them was purple and gold, but they was different colors.
Right.
Like that color scheme was different on both of them. That nigga left my chinchilla jacket in there that baby bought me. Like he left a lot of shit in there.
Damn.
Everything that was in there, if you go back, man, that dude left. That's why I be like, I always tell him, I can't buy bathing apes over. Like, I can't. Boy, you know, he had about 50 pair in there. Easy.
Right. And then, like I said, even the way he do with the cars and all that, the fly cars.
His love is cars and clothes.
Old schools and all that
love
shit.
is cars,
Champagne.
clothes, and dogs, bro.
Right. The lifestyle.
That's what he loves.
Jet life.
It's rap shit easy for him.
Right.
Shit, I can honestly tell you it's easy for me. Once you understand what you're doing, this shit not that hard. Especially once you develop a fan base.
Right.
But people don't take time to let it grow.
And how you feel about him? Like you said, how he grew a cult following fan base, even though it might not be as gangster as Cash Money,
Why I gotta be
No
gangster?
Limit, but he still got his
Why I
own
gotta
thing.
be gangster?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And still was able to do his thing his way and then build a big following.
I think like as in our time, like he made it cool to be just
Yourself.
cool.
Right, be yourself.
Like you can be yourself. You do whatever you're doing. Because like even back then, you ain't never heard Spitter talking about shooting nobody or nothing.
Right.
If you gonna talk that shit, his brother, the partner.
Right.
But we always look at that remember Jay-Z talking to his nephews? Mm-hmm. New ball game when Spitter came around.
Right.
And he was around then, so I didn't caught myself looking at that and looking at him laughing. Because he changed that era.
Right.
Then a lot of motherfuckers, you'll never get the credit for what really shit is until it's all for and
Get
gone.
your flowers, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
But
that's why I said it, because like I said, Spitter definitely got that fly shit, the music, and like I said, I love Wiz a lot too, and I feel like he had a big influence on Wiz, and they said
it was like listen, bro, like what people don't understand, them dudes genuinely friends.
Right, yeah, I can tell.
Like they when they say they slept on the floor together, they're not playing with you.
Right.
Like they smoke bullshit weed together. Now you still walk in there and laugh at.
Right.
But they grew and they went two different ways. Wiz is exactly what he wanted to be, and Spitter is exactly what he wanted to be.
Right, and they both happy.
That's what's crazy about that shit, right?
And they still good friends.
It's definitely good friends.
I want to ask you about a couple of, I think it might be a week or two ago, whatever, when the stuff came out about Hurricane Ida, and Slim Thug was saying that, you know, I just want to know your take on it, because I said what I said about it, but he was saying, like, you know, those refugees, which we know New Orleans people don't like to be called refugees because we're not from a foreign country, and he was saying that don't come down here with all that killing, go to Dallas or Atlanta, but don't come to Houston with that. How do you feel that probably made people from New Orleans
First of all, it's this, right? He didn't say don't come. He was telling them Houston to get prepared.
Right.
He wasn't lying.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't seen no lying in this set refugees. He's warning them. You might want to warn them though. You saw what happened for Katrina. But motherfucker just don't want to keep it real. All he did was send his people a warning. I had no problem with that.
Right.
But if you look at, listen, but say, I know the kind of shit happened for Katrina. You might want to send the people a warning. But like people feel some kind of way about a lot of shit that ain't got nothing to do with them. I wouldn't give a fuck. You might, if I was one of them little dudes, I'd be like, yeah, you doing them right, you might want to warn them. But at the age that I'm at now, I'm like, that's white flag, go ahead, throw it up. He don't want no action. Like you can't, and that I don't feel no different about him. He told you what was real. With the exception of a few words.
Right. The refugee
But you watch that refugee shit if you want to, because you make it worse when they come out there.
Right. Now, I agree, and like you said, I feel like I understand what he said. Like I said, the murder rate did go up in Houston, the crime went up, so I can understand him saying, man, New Orleans just don't come out here tripping.
But you can't tell people how to say something.
Yeah.
You can't tell nobody how to talk. Yeah. Like, what make, like, that's this internet shit. You think you could tell somebody, and you can't tell nobody how to say nothing, because this would happen, right? a lot of shit that motherfuckers used to say behind closed doors and said it, now we get to see it.
How they really feel.
And you reacting to all shit that's been going on. And I'm talking about us as a people, not no outside shit. I'm talking about how we talk. We've been doing this.
How you feel about New Orleans current music, with like a lot of people being influenced by our music, and you seeing a lot of people using our sounds and slangs and lingo and culture?
Don't stop.
And just where it's going at or whatever.
Say,
right?
bro, listen.
Because a lot of people,
I told you this, right? And this was fucked up. First of all music comes from somewhere. If a lot of people getting it from here, that says a lot, right? But this is my biggest thing. None of these records don't be classic until somebody else do. All this here, you got Juvenile, 6 Shot, all No Limit, Gregory D, Bust Down, Tim Smooth, like Mia X, Warren Mays, like we can go all. None of them dudes, nobody got no classic records. But soon as somebody else make it, and they turned it into their own song, they took it. You should have took it. But I think we overlook each other here. We be searching for it and it's already here. Like we're the creators of one of the funkiest sounds in the world, but we ain't giving it.
And that's what I tell people. I say it's like our shit is like people like, oh man, the bounce beat is just the sounds of New Orleans. Get rid of that. But I'm like, we ain't get rid of gumbo. We ain't gonna get rid of no beignets. We ain't gonna get rid of second line, Mardi Gras.
All right, check this out. How somebody gonna tell you to get rid of that? You go around. Everybody got something, right? Go tell California to get rid of going down. Go tell New York get rid of just dirt down hip hop, beatbox beats in them. Man, why?
Atlanta get rid of trap, yeah.
Okay, that don't make no sense,
right?
That. Like that don't make no sense. Man.
Logically.
Let me tell you this though, right? A lot of people don't know who mentored me, right? Devious D.
I talk to Devious all the time. Damn, that's crazy, boy. Devious up. Cause he said we gotta talk.
Why you think I know the business? That's how I last. Everybody talk all this rap. They don't understand the business.
And that's the same person that made the beat for DJ Jimmy.
Okay, but check this out. Let me just show you something, right? Then we talking about people taking stuff. He got one snatched. He glad they took it. You don't know the record?
I know he did the one with I don't know the recent one, but I know the one that Lil Duval did before.
Boom. That's a sample because they used some of his shit.
Right.
All right. You think he tripping? No, because his business right.
Even if they call it B some shit he had.
His business is right. Don't you see how he keep on going up there getting, all right, BMI. Whoa, he been like that. Like that dude taught me the business side of the game. Period. That like the reason why I'm able to tell these young dudes about publishing it, copyrights, and licenses.
Right.
And that dude put me on all that. He gave me a sprinkle and I went and figured out the rest of it. Cause I wasn't around him long enough, but he'd have pitched all that on me. I still, anytime I have a problem, I call him. Say what you think about this. And he give it straight to me.
He give all the game.
Man, listen. That's a real OG. You might won't listen when he talking. He know what he talking about. Like he a school teacher, cause that's what he always wanted to be.
And he always be commenting on my page
too. Don't be no
too.
fool, bro.
Yeah.
Don't be no fool. Like he understands, like he really need to do a business seminar. Boy, he could teach him so much, bro.
Damn.
I'm telling you, listen, bro. Like, let me just show you this, right? So, I met Musa, Drew, my godfather. My godfather, Musa's daddy was time. Musa introduced me to Devious. Devious saw my talent and said, come here, do a record. He was already established. Not only do a record, hey, you know what? I like how you rap. Write a part for this in the dude. Little trap. You know what? I really like you. Hold on. Come with me to the radio station. Man, listen. I walked in the radio station with Tim Smooth, Buzz Down, Tim Smooth, Buzz Down. Somebody else was in there, bro. Who else was popping around that time?
West Bank Legends.
Tim Smooth, Buzz Down, Gregory D, and somebody else, right? Devious sat down. I stood behind him. All them dudes freestyle. Devious told me rap. Man, dude, I had that to do. Like, that's really how I got introduced. That's why all them dudes knew me from jump.
He put the ball in your hand.
I was on some different. I was different though. I knew I was different because I didn't sound like nobody. My influence came from somewhere else. But he the first one realized that. And he realized it so much, he ain't only tell me write my rap, which he could have easily wrote, he could have wrote trap rap. Say, nah, you right. When it came down to it, he showed me, he gave me the credit for it and all that. And I wasn't even on that like that.
But he still was fair, he still gave.
What? Like me, him and Fiend, we been in it together. Like, that's who we started together. Me, him, Fiend, and Musa started together.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I think I seen Musa talk about that when somebody was interviewing him. He was talking about Devious and all that stuff like that. And I think he even mentioned you.
Musa, back me, that's my partner. Like, that's different. That's family.
Musa's smart as hell.
It's family. Like, we come from it, like, from the ground up though. Like, we grew up together. Like, it's a difference. Like, we really grew up together.
Damn, for real. What I about to say? Yo, how you get your name? Cause I know you got the Bumpy Johnson as your main profile pitch. Did it come from Carlos Marcello? Was influenced by the
Carlos
Mafia?
Marcellus.
Carlos Marcellus, the Mafia.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And down in New Orleans and stuff like that. So that's influenced that, and the Bumpy Johnson song more to show you like the mafioso type movies and.
I be into the movies, but I like my partner them gave me my name, but I was crazy about how I picked it. Like I had to go research and all that kind of shit. I had to figure some things out.
Lil man.
Yeah, so it fitted me. I fuck with that though. I met his grandson and shit like.
I think they got a restaurant across the road.
They got a house right on not Louisiana, it's on the back street. What that is, Louisiana and I want to say Barone or something. But like the block off Louisiana, big old white house.
Wow.
I was supposed to shoot something there before.
What you feel like? What do you feel like post Katrina? Right now, 2021 in New Orleans. What do you feel like one of the most worst parts of New Orleans and why right now? And what you think they could do to probably make it a little better?
Hey, bro, listen. Let me tell you something. Remember Uptown was so bad?
Right.
Look at it now, right?
Right.
The East bad because they pushed everybody in there, right? Put you on some game. If you in the East, keep your property. Cause watch what they gonna do. Like you get flushed there, then the property value goes down. They buy it all up. What they did is Uptown. I'm telling you, keep your property. Even if you get out of there, keep your property. Watch 10 to 15 years. It's gonna skyrocket because they gotta do something with it. They got that big park out there. They gotta do something with it.
Oh, you talking about Six Flags?
It's gonna raise the East value. That simple. As quick as it go up, them houses going up 20,000, 15,000, 60,000. Like.
So you think it's gonna be how the East was in the 80s, in the 70s when white people was out? Because it was for white people at first, most of
it was rebuilding. They rebuilding right in your face. I'm watching. Look at Uptown.
Yeah, I see what they did to the Irish Channel and all that and go.
Man, look around the Magnolia, man. Look at Marengo and man, this everything. Look on Claiborne Street, bro.
Coffee.
There was no banks on the cliff.
Yeah, coffee. They got Starbucks.
Only bank they ever had was the Liberty Bank down the street, and they barely had that open. New ball game now though. But like when you get older, like you got to see what happened. Like the high crime areas, they last till a certain person get in office, then they change it, and then they go buy it up, and the development start over. I just think the biggest thing, like I know, like I had a property Uptown. My sister had one too. I got one now, but I wish I would have kept my properties.
Right. Cause you feel like that would have made it a little more better and stuff like that.
Ain't no feel like it. I did look over there to show you it made more better. Anybody who has if you got a house somewhere Uptown, your house went up. In the last 10 years, your house went up almost 100,000. Easy.
Nah, that's
like people don't understand. Like it's a lot. Like I mean, I can't go crazy on it because I'm just into just really getting into real estate. But like everything is numbers. It's a number game. I know numbers. I know when that go up, that go up. When they ain't putting the Walmart around there, my house ain't getting the value.
Right.
I know that.
Starbucks and all that, yeah.
Okay. They put it there so you don't have to go outside.
Right.
See what I'm saying? It raised the value of it.
That's why they'll throw a Walmart, because I remember a lot of people in the East would be going to Walmart and Chalmette. Then they put the one right here to kind of keep people from going to Chalmette, because it was like keeping everybody out their spot. What do you feel like you said, back to the music stuff, what do you feel like you know, the people that you like, or what you want to see more of, or what you feel like going good, or what you feel like we need to do better?
Our music?
Yeah, like
They don't fuck with each other. Now, what I always tell artists is like, there got to be some unity. I ain't never saw this much talent down here in my life, but everybody's connected to somebody in music, right? Mm-hmm. If that person, like, you and that person kind of have a conflict, and like almost nobody around them can like you.
Right.
This bitch ain't that big for us to be tripping like that.
Nah, that's true.
Like, I don't know. I look at things different. I look at the city being so small, this should be less crime. Everybody know everybody. This shit easily can get solved if you calm down and make some phone calls, even if a nigga gotta pay you. Because 9 out of 10 is somebody I know, my partner know, make a few phone, give me a date, be cool.
Smooth it out.
Because it can get smoothed out, like, because at the end of the day, like, that shit affect so many people. That's the biggest thing about it. Right. By being so small, it affects so many people. So a murder here is like 20 murders somewhere else. Right. But we don't realize it because that's how it affects us and our kids.
And then it hit a lot of families, like you say, your mom, your brothers, sisters.
Listen, if anybody died, listen, if this how much it affect us, right? And I talked about this because one time I was talking to one of my partners from Chicago and he was talking about the murder. I said it's nothing like New Orleans.
Right, because they got like 3 million people in Chicago. We only got like 400,000.
This what happens, well. If a murder happened right now, we gonna know either somebody who knows the killer or somebody who knows the person who died. Yeah. It affect you, period. But you don't realize how much it affect. Even knowing the person affect you, because things start playing back in your mind. I remember that little nigga used to be wild, and things start playing back in your mind, so it really affect you.
And you feel like that's like even in the music, like you said, New Orleans, music's so gangster, and the city's so street to where the music and the street shit sometimes be bleeding in, and that kind of like
always
mess up a lot of stuff.
That always happens.
Because it's so gangster.
Like, listen, no, bro. Like, that always happens. It's not the music. It's the money.
Right.
Like, and OG's got to take a part in it because it was a time where like a lot of them, like, they had all the old niggas was dope fiends, dead in jail. Like, we went through an era of that shit, right? So you talking about like, in our city, this bitch so small, you talking about 60% of niggas on the street.
A lot of guidance, not here.
So you got 40%, some ain't in the streets. You know, it's just all these different ways, right? And the dudes start raising themselves. Their mom would tell them, don't put your hand on my baby, remember that?
Right.
Ain't no man can't touch it. So she got to raise him. You know the number one thing you ain't got no respect for? A man, you ain't never done nothing for me. You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, you and G talk about this a lot on the podcast.
You can't tell me nothing. But if you go at them differently, you can see it. That's why I have good relationships with them because I understand them.
The approach. I
understand them. Well, like, you're a man just like I'm a man. I'm going to give you respect. Ain't no, people look at things as like, because you're 16, because you're 18, the 60-year-old deserves more respect. That's not how this goes. That's not respect. No. The person chooses who he wants to give. Right. If you raise your kid to respect the elders, then he's going to respect them more, right? Right. But that's a choice. Once they grown too, you got to give them some respect too. Because who's to say somebody can disrespect you and you can't disrespect them?
Because King Solomon was young too, but yeah, that's the kind of stuff he put out. So
that's just the way I look at it. I know, like, as in, you know, some people gonna see it different, but I think respect is just one thing. Give what you expect to get back, but give it. Right. Especially if you older, you're supposed to give it first because you teaching him what's going on.
Now, I was thinking about this. I saw this today, and a lot of people kind of was like, I guess, I don't know, they felt a certain way about it. Lil Wayne, I think they signed like 5 new artists. I think 2 of them was from New Orleans. You know, he got artists that's from New Orleans already too, but I guess they was like, oh man, he ain't getting enough people. Some people might feel like Baby ain't coming to get enough people. Some people feel like P ain't doing that. Now, we know Russell Simmons and people like Puff and them, they had their time, and it's time for new people, like L.A. Reid and them. Everybody got cities, like you said, I guess Thugger put on Atlanta dudes, Gotti put on dudes from Memphis. But you know, people always feel like you're not getting enough from the city.
I think we do too much complaining.
Right. So you feel like, yeah, it's too much of that.
Say, well, listen, like,
because could you really save everybody?
You can't, but check this out, right? Get a flow. And you ain't got to ask people to see you. They going to see you. like people be too much into everything else that's going on instead of being into their damn self. Because if you get this shit pop, you get that ball rolling, somebody gonna see you eat. Somebody gonna see you, but everybody in this game to where they won't be rich, you won't get signed by somebody or something. Why? You get you a fan base, right? At 30, 40,000, right? $9 on iTunes, right? And do the math, drop 3 albums a year. You're gonna make you some, you're gonna do you some shows, they're gonna buy some merch. You're gonna make you some money. But motherfuckers, they don't wanna start like that. Motherfuckers wanna go straight to the top. Nah, man, you gotta get your following, then people see you. Talent ain't it no more.
Is the antics?
Everybody got talent. They be mad because a nigga make a song, and they be like, man, they can't rap. You got a hell of a following. He doing something right or something extremely wrong. The only thing I don't fuck with the internet is sometimes the dudes do stupid shit to get the following. That's the only bad thing. But in reality, when you get the following, or you get, they say following, I say the support, because the following is not always support. Like you can have all them fucking followers you want, but they're not that, some of them is there to see you look stupid.
Right. Crash and burn.
You gotta realize, like, some of them motherfuckers there, the joke is really on you.
I'm glad you said that too, because Tyrese was just saying something the other day. He said, when I was coming up, I remember you had the real talent, the artists that really made great music, but now it's more about the antics of what you could do to go viral and just do some crazy shit and get attention on the blogs. So is it really a good era of talent, or is it just who could make the best show?
I can tell you this. It's the same amount of talent that it was in our time. It's just a lot more entertaining. Meaning they got some out there that's really doing it.
Diamonds in the rough, yeah.
But they got entertainment out there too. You can't be mad because somebody will make you laugh. That may be through music or whatever, but somebody buying it. So I don't get into that. I see who I like and miss who I don't. But I don't comment on it because it's bad to nigga motherfuckers always talking that black shit, right? But I couldn't put none of them little dudes down. I wouldn't give a fuck of what kind of music he make. If that bitch soul, I'm fucking with it. Because there's a lot of the shit he could be doing. And he feeding a lot of motherfuckers, so I'm not into all that extra shit. I don't like that song. Man, nothing to do with me.
Right. Just what I like to say, if that's what he really do, then do it like
somebody buying it if he doing it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, like I said.
So you got to be mad with all of them. I ain't got that kind of time.
Right, because everybody not gonna be a Tupac, a Nas and stuff like that.
Everybody not looking for that. Though.
Right. It's something
we
for everybody.
Look for that, like right, because we're those kind of artists, or we're those kind of people. Some people just want to dance and laugh and have fun. Relax, man, and let the people enjoy their music, and you go enjoy your music.
Now you're right, just like House Party, like Kid and Play, they had different type of music for everybody. It's something like that.
You don't buy rock and roll, now.
Right.
Okay, well, why you bad with them little dudes? Just consider them rock and roll.
Some people do metal, some people do country music. It's something, if it ain't for you, the fool, you ain't even buy something else.
Development is like big. Because that's how a lot of these little dudes get tricked out this spot. Because they think in this media game, that it's a media game. You can't just say what you want. In the sense, I'm gonna say you can't say what you want the way you want to say.
Like a publisher, you
Not
need
when
to
you're
think.
I tell you how to say it. I tell you how to get it across without making people feel some kind of way. But at the same time, I can tell you this. I don't give a fuck. Because that's unfair. Like, you can't blame, especially like when they come in and do some shit to you behind some shit you said years ago. I'm not apologizing for that. How? I'm gonna show you my apology, me right now. It's my growth. But if they don't see my mistakes, then they ain't gonna see where I come from.
Right.
But what you gonna do is you want me to erase my mistakes and make it seem like I just slayed it? No, I ain't sliding on no slate, nigga.
Like Malcolm X.
I went through some mistakes.
Yeah, like Malcolm X, then he changed.
You gotta go through some shit, right? But you can't erase your mistakes because sometimes I need the mistakes there for me to look at. I wouldn't give a fuck how y'all feel about it.
That's who made you who you are.
And at the same time, it's business. 50 say what he want, huh? How many, you see, he get them big checks too, huh? They'll never tell him nothing. It's all about how you gotta have the right people to put your contracts together. Can't no company sign me and tell me you can't say this, can't. All right, if I do say it, you're gonna give me my money, we're gonna walk away.
I'm glad you said that too about 50, because I was talking about this to my partner from Baltimore. I was saying that to me, the like Jay-Z and people like 50 Cent, they remind me of like what the mob was doing in a gangster way, but went legit and really took it to another level. Because the mob was doing gangster stuff and coming from the street crime and all that.
Doing gangster stuff.
No, they was. No, they was.
See?
But they was always saying it wasn't, but we know they was. But then it was doing legitimate business.
You're not supposed to say you know gangster when you got stakes and CBS and all this kind of shit.
Yeah, and they're killing people and doing all kind of underworld type activity. But what I'm saying is that how dudes like Jig and them might have lived a certain life before, but now they into the champagne. Like everything is legit. So it's like they went further than the organized crime because they took them down a lot. But
all right,
like
let me show you what cancel culture do us. Now they cancel niggas and shit behind saying stupid shit. Let me show you what that does. If you ain't know Jay-Z used to be in Marcy Projects and knew he was hustling like that, to see where he come from, he couldn't motivate you. You got to be able to look at him to see one day that nigga was just like me.
Relatable, yeah.
Cancel culture says if you make a mistake, you're out of here. If we find something that you said in the past or some shit, you out of here. Nah, we ain't about to do that. Then what fucks me up about this shit is, the people who cancel you ain't even people who buying your shit. I'm telling you, I'm just saying, like, we ain't nowhere in the world you supposed to allow that shit. We don't cancel them. You know how much fucked up shit other motherfuckers do that. What about us, right? Let's say the rap, we just get together, right? And we say we gonna start canceling motherfuckers. Let's go see stupid shit motherfuckers do. And our fan base gonna follow us. New ball game, man. All right. But motherfuckers just don't think like that. That's why I just be like, man, all right.
And now that we stand divided, we fall.
Sick.
Cello, so what's the last thing you probably want to lead the people up with? What's something you probably want to say, like, any last words that you want to say, talk about?
Hey, man. Plant a seed, watch it grow, you never know when you might need to leave.
I think I heard you say that before.
My dad told me that. I can lead you to the water, teach you how to fish, and I might clean it, but I'm not cooking your shit. A lot of that shit is just like, more or less like, you gotta put out. Learn something, push it out. Everything ain't gonna come back. You can't give somebody something expecting something from them. If I give it to you, I'm giving it to you. Because I ain't your fucking dependent. Y'all don't depend on what the fuck you gonna do for me. But that's how people start judging on how much gain they get, how much they could get from you. Instead of judging it off who gonna take this shit and do something with it. Or who genuinely around me and I'm just gonna drop some knowledge on them. Most of the people who are around you drop it on them anyway. For that other shit, you know, I'm gonna be here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm be here till I'm 100. Get used to me.
Alright. Well, I Cello and we out, y'all.